What the hell is happening, guys? Stevo here. Hope you're all good out there. I'm very good myself for this fine Monday evening. It's around 7:15. I'm bringing you a review of a brand new show to the channel, Humans. Now, a little bit of background. Humans is a show that is a British-American show. It's by AMC. It's got an outstanding cast. We're up to we're up to episode 4 of season 2. I've caught up with it recently in the last few days, and it is such a great show, guys. Obviously, for all you Humans fans out there, the first season was some epic television. The premise is, it's a world where synths have become, synths are robots and they've become human help. But the storyline is that synths are beginning to gain consciousness due to their creator, David Elster, putting code in his 5 children. Obviously, you've watched the show, you know, guys, you wouldn't be watching a review of it if you haven't already seen it. We're up to episode 4 of season 2. We kind of pick it up with Niska has handed herself in, and Laura is a lawyer with that she wants a trial to prove consciousness. Although I believe her aim is to get a trial but then lose it so that it outrages fellow conscious synths. I believe it is just her doing this is really to get the attention of all the conscious synths out there that may be hiding it, and I believe that there is a lot more than we'll know. Obviously, Laura, in her quest to prove that Niska is conscious, brings Niska's kind of girlfriend Astrid from Germany, and Astrid obviously didn't have any clue whatsoever that Niska was a synth, so that came as a bit of a shock. But even still, she said that she would still love Niska, and I think that it goes to show in Humans we've seen a lot of the relationship side of the complications between a human and a synth having a relationship, and that brings us nicely into what is happening with Mia. And Ed, the owner of this cafe, and his mum's got dementia. Now, I don't trust Ed one little bit. I haven't trusted him from the start of the series. I just don't like him. He's swimming in debt, and now all of a sudden he's discovered that he's got a conscious synth, which happened to be selling for 100 grand a piece on the black market. He's also got a friend who looks very shady and who doesn't trust synths whatsoever. And right at the very end of that episode, Ed shut Mia down with his friend in the background. Now, I hope I'm wrong, because Mia is as innocent and as loving and as helpful as they come. She really is. She's the nicest synth going. She is so... she's just lovely. She would do anything for anyone. Now, if Ed is as bad as I suspect he is, and he's going to sell her for money to help his calf, then more for him, because he's missing out on such a lovely personality and such a lovely synth. Now, that's another aspect of the complication in relationships. We saw them in bed at the start, and he was asking her if she liked what had happened, and she said she liked the proximity. And also, he takes her to see his mum, who has dementia, and we've seen a couple of times now that Mia can really communicate with his mum, who has dementia, on a deeper level, almost childlike. I think that's something that maybe that the show needs to explore a little bit more. Obviously, Laura and Joe Watkins, their youngest daughter, is it Sophie? She is becoming a synthy, I think. Toby's new that he's trying to make his girlfriend is a coloured girl who is becoming a synthy. Now, the thing with Sophie is she's grown up around synths, and the synth does everything absolutely perfectly, and she has seen that and she's taken it on board. And obviously the psychologist has said to Joe and Laura, she will take that behaviour on board, and maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't think it is. She has become very withdrawn into herself though, so maybe a little bit more parent time would be good. But those synths came into their lives in season 1 and they affected them all, really. Now, Joe has discovered that his redundancy, there was no humans involved. it was just since forgetting to CC humans into their email conversations. And Joe, I believe he is starting to. He has always been kind of anti-synth, and he's accepted his redundancy payment. But I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Joe, kind of pushing back against the synths and stuff like that. They've kind of ruined his life, really. You see season 1, and synths have. There's really nothing good come of it for him. Excuse me. Now, also we have Carrie-Anne Mouse, who is playing Dr. Morrow. She goes for a luncheon, a very posh luncheon, with Milo Chowdhury, who to me is like the Mark Zuckerberg of humans. He owns a company called Qualia. Qualia are at this point in time rounding up all the conscious synths. Leo and Maxie and Hester are like trying to find them. Maxie and Leo have kind of gone their separate ways. Maxie is like the lovable puppy, but it just seems like they're giving Leo busy work at the moment until they get to the big reveal where he gets to look in the silo. Now obviously the silo is where Qualia are keeping all the conscious synths. Now Milo gives a bit of a tragic backstory that I don't trust one little bit. And obviously Dr. Morrow is trying to transfer her daughter's consciousness into a human and is failing miserably, but she's using Milo's synths. Now all of these storylines kind of will merge together. We're halfway through the season now, and the second half of the season will merge all these storylines. Obviously Karen and Pete gets his head kicked in because he is looking for seraphs. We find out that seraphs aren't conscious synths, and he gets told to butt out, and then right at the end of the episode the synth comes to check the meter, and he warns Laura. Obviously he warns Laura to drop the case with Niska, drop the case, we can get to you by your family. And then good old Odie comes in and stops him. Now, obviously Odie gained consciousness in this this season, thanks to Matty. And it's just brilliant seeing him with his newfound consciousness, and also still dealing with the tics of his past, doing stuff with Odie. Like when he folded the clothes with Sophie, that was really cool. Sorry I've gone on quite a bit about this episode and telling you what's happened and stuff rather than review it, but obviously I'm new to humans, so I just wanted to get across that I do actually know what's going on in the show. This show does the relationship with humans and technology so well, and I think I will focus on that more in my future reviews. It's just such a good show, guys. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend that you go out and watch an episode of Humans. Watch the pilot, and you will fall in love with this show. It's really good. The actors and actresses who play the synths are just fantastic. They really, really are. They're really fantastic. Looking forward to episode 5 next week. That's it for this episode of Humans. I thought it was really, really good. Obviously, like I said, all the narratives are getting ready to build in the second half of the season. And I think there's enough material in this show with synths becoming consciousness to build it into season 3, maybe even season 4. It's just absolutely fantastic. But I wanted to start reviewing this show. I will bring you it next week. It'll be a bit more of a coherent review because I won't have to explain everything. I've seen the show. Looking forward to episode 5. I will bring you my review of The Walking Dead in the morning. Then on Wednesday it's This Is Us. And then obviously going into the weekend, Designated Survivor and whatnot. But for now, this is El Stevo, Humans episode 4. If you haven't watched it, watched it. It's a wicked show, guys. Peace.